It does have a long driveway. Oh, okay.
Is that new?
Yeah, that's new. Yeah, okay. So he's building up.
Oh,
yeah? Wow.
Super cheap.
That's cool.
That whole thing is new. Wow. Hi there.
Hi.
Welcome.
You've changed. I mean, we see there's a new hole in the ground here, right?
Yeah, this is when you'll probably pull off that video and show the hillside last year. It was just like a hill. You asked me, so what do you want to do with this? I said, well, I want to turn it into a hobbit village. The structure that I'm going to show you in here is 42 feet basically. This is how far it comes back, right to here. And then I'm going to be building 4 hobbit houses, north, east, southwest, around that hill over there.
Okay.
So there'll be one facing kind of like each direction. This is going to be the biggest one right here.
Okay.
And then you'll be able to go from this structure right here, you'll be able to go from this structure to that one.
So it's going to be connected like a whole tunnel, hobbit tunnel.
Yeah. The big thing is I wanted to create a hobbit type underground structure. You can call it a hobbit safe house. You could do it as a mother-in-law suite. But what my goal was to be able to create a structure more affordable and easier to build for people. I thought a lot about this because I did the Quonset hut so much.
Now you see that we're underground inside a Quonset hut.
Exactly. I got all the bedrooms. The Quonset hut's a little bit, it seems easy, and it kind of is, but you're at the mercy of the people that supply the Quonset huts. Then you got to learn how to put them up. And you know they're high and all this stuff, and they're kind of scary because we put them up numerous times. But for the average person, I mean, even us as construction guys, it takes a good couple times to really get the feel. But the big key was, I thought, how could I make an easier structure? Because really the Quonset hut and this structure is just a form that you're going to spray on, right?
Okay.
You can see how I created the structure. It's literally the easiest thing you could imagine. These hoops that I made, these arches, I had these fabricated out of a 24-foot long piece of galvanized pipe. The size that comes out of a 24-foot with a full arch is actually 12 feet wide is what you get. So that determined everything for me because I want to have it fairly high. So this is almost 9 feet tall in here. But literally when I poured this concrete, that day, I went and picked up these hoops that I'd had this company bend them for me. These are the arches. These are the arches. I got 21 of these. They are 9 feet tall. Because I'm doing something that I've never done and I haven't seen anybody do, I had to really, really think it over. This is the receiving post. These are going to go 2 foot on center into the concrete. These got to be level. We're trying to make a fairly straight wall. And while you're pouring the concrete, you set all those posts in there exactly 2 foot on center. We're in the time tunnel. And then those posts are here. So when you bring these big hoops over here, you're just basically dropping them right onto those receiving posts. And you're going like that and dropping them on. And like a kid could do it. Me and Michael put them in 1 hour. And then we had a big skeleton basically at that point. We just put these all on in 1 hour. It worked out perfect. These are all sitting on 2 foot centers. And now we're going to screw metal roofing on top of this whole system. So we're just laying these panels on and screwing them on. We'll go all the way around. It's going really easy. Like a half an hour only, we got these 3 panels on. Maybe 45 minutes to get all these 4 panels on. We're going to work our way up and go over and play with it. And then it took us another 6 hours to screw this metal roofing on.
So you were trying to come up with probably the first prefab system for underground houses.
Yeah. If people want this structure, they'll get my video program. It'll come with engineered drawings of a structure. I'll send you 21 of these hoops, and then I'll help the person source out the roofing supply where I get the roofing. It's nationwide. And you'll know exactly what to do, and you'll have every step, all 10 steps on how to do this yourself. So far, me and Michael have 10 hours of labor in this structure. basically 10 hours assembling the structure.
So we got all this completed.
And it's not that scary because the really hard tasks involved in here are, for instance, the concrete. I had to hire that out myself. The spray foam, you hire that out by any insulation company does that. See, now that was like day 4, really. Day 4, spray foaming everything. This is the fascia. So this is kind of like a retaining wall. We'll end up shotcreting all underneath here. I also had to hire out the shotcrete, for example. That had to have been done by a shotcrete company. Happening today, 4 hours of shotcrete will be done. Those are the only 3 scary parts that people don't know how to do. They don't need to know how to do that. You hire the professionals. And my idea is to get people to be their own contractor. They don't have to hire a contractor, which it ends up costing them double.
Shotcrete is concrete with...
Yeah, it's just blowing through a pump, just shooting it out there. Now in that, we have that helix steel mixed in there. So now that's a rebar replacement. The rebar replacement is very important that people realize it's not an additive to the concrete to make it stronger. It literally replaces rebar.
So you don't need any rebar.
You don't need any rebar.
Because rebar, for people we've met who've done like dome homes, rebar, for a whole home, it's taken like a year for them to do it themselves. Like it took a long time for the couple in Oregon we met.
I know. This structure here, we counted the actual days as under 30. From dig out. You could actually do it faster. I had other jobs going and stuff I was doing, so I didn't make it all at once, you know.
So this, it almost looks like a shipping container.
It looks kind of like a shipping container because this metal itself has a contour that replicates a shipping container. But what it is, it's actually 24 gauge metal roofing.
And this piping is normally used for greenhouses.
Yeah, greenhouses, and it comes in all different kinds of thicknesses.
You are using products for other things and you're just coming up with something that is like a prefab system for hobbit houses.
Well, I thought a lot about this because I did the Quonset hut so much. And you can imagine, how could I do this thing the same way? I don't know how I even just all of a sudden thought, well, I think I saw one of those garages that have metal pipes in their square tubes. And they got joints and they're all screwed together and there's like a big mechano set and then they put all the metal roofing on it. So I thought, well, why don't I do that? But I want to have the arch because for one thing, it's the strongest structure to shotcrete on and it's the more dirt you put on it, it's just super strong, right? But I don't like the idea of the straight wall and then all that weight, it doesn't distribute it balanced like nature does in a circle.
I mean, that's what I was going to ask you because we've done stories with people who have buried shipping containers. Structurally, I mean, does that make sense?
No, it doesn't make sense because you're burying a shoebox. And it's so funny because the guy that owns this surplus place, he goes, Dave, we tried to bury a shipping container last year. He goes, I wanted to do the same thing, like have a man cave. He goes, we got it half buried and it just crushed into nothing. It fell in. So the only way to bury a shipping container properly is to shotcrete it, spray foam it and shotcrete it.
And why did you pick these materials? Is that because this is a really affordable material? It's because it's just a standard roofing?
It's a standard roofing. And I also picked this high profile so I could slide all my conduit in there. It gave me a nice big gap. I ran all my conduit behind that post in these gaps, right? I got a pipe here, that's just a hot line. My actual water coming in from outside, it comes in behind this pipe as well. I do have it plumbed in this back corner for a toilet, and I have plumbing for here for a shower. Once this is no longer a shop, it'll become a little apartment or something, right? But essentially how I'm gonna do my hobbit houses is I'm gonna stick with about this size. And then I have another tunnel right beside this one, about 6 feet apart. Wherever I want to put a round hole through here, run tunnel, I'll walk into that other structure, and that'll be, say, the kitchen. Now, I stayed in a hobbit house in Washington, and someone had made one, and it was plenty big, and it was only 30 feet long.
Okay.
So, and it's very similar to the same height and everything.
So you've created an affordable underground hobbit prefab.
Right. Put it this way, somebody could build a house for a guest house where they could build something like this, but it's got some great value because now you have a place to go. Let's say if you're in one of these tornado villages, you're in any sort of like natural disaster area, and you are now out of harm's way from a fire, for example. You can also use it as a root cellar because this structure is going to stay about 65 degrees all year round.
So have you gotten used to the whole rounded thing? I mean, you have a lot of rounded structures, right? Could you go back to a square home?
No, I don't like them. The inside's really changed because I did finish it. The last time you guys videoed in here, the whole upstairs was under construction. It was a big mess.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's done.
When I first got this place, they had straight walls in here. I built this kind of serpent wall, I call it, because it's kind of shaped like a snake, you know, like that. It's got a full circle on the inside of a 6-foot radius that accommodates this 6-foot staircase. And then I built this upper deck up here. And then I'm like, okay, I got to make the upstairs to accommodate my kids when they come here. Originally, that was just storage upstairs. So this is all new. This whole curve I have going on in here. This is the corridor of the whole area to where you have access to that other stairwell. You got access to this bedroom here and the other one here.
And then the doors are done.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how this works. Is it goes like that. It acts like a regular door, and then the whole thing slides out of the way, you know? And the reason I did that is because you can't slide the door this way because you hit that, right? And you also can't open it like this because it hits right here. So I was toying with the idea and I thought, well, how about I just do that, and figured a way to make it 2 different styles of doors in one. And then you can see what I did with the staircase. It's like a tunnel going down there.
It does feel like a tunnel. It's tiny.
Yeah, it's only 28 inches wide. I wanted that Greek feel. They got these little tunnels and these little places to go. And it's kind of like, this is all concrete, you know? So that's the feel I wanted. You know, very inviting going into a curved area.
It's a bit of a hobbit staircase.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And then come over on this side.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, this is my daughter's room.
Are these doors?
Yeah, I built bunk beds out of doors. They're naughty alder doors. They're really cool. So she can have her friends, they come over, they go up here, they climb up there, and they have enough for 1 or 2 kids on each of these bunks. I wanted to utilize this highest point for the walkway, because once they get to that point, they can almost walk up there in this little area. It comfortably sleeps 5 kids, right? And then they have a bat pole here that they slide down. They want to come out, they slide down this.
Can you get up there?
Well, it's difficult for an adult because in order to get up there, you got to go through this space. So the kids crawl up there, no problem. It's very easy. And then actually, my daughter and her friends, they actually climb up this pole and they use this as a ladder and get up in there, you know?
So this was all your design? You wanted to have a 5-person bunk bed?
Well, one day when the kids were over here, I just had an open room and I said, girls, I'm going to make you bunk beds above here. And this one girl, she's like, Dave, can you put a bunk bed over there too? And one over there and one over there? And then can you put a zip line here? And I started laughing. I'm like, yes, I'll do all that. So then I thought, that's actually a good idea. She gave me the idea of putting a bunk bed there as well. And one there and one there, you know? So it just kind of kept on going, you know, and I could do more, but so far it's good enough.
I love it. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, it's very simple, but it's strong as hell because this one pipe holds everything up. The rest is screwed to the wall. So it's super strong. And then actually this 4x4 actually supports that whole bed and this side, this one beam right here. But as you can see, that beam is actually connected to this post. So it's super strong. This one's cradled into the wall here. This one's cradled into that wall. It's not finished quite yet.
What made you decide to use doors for bed framing?
For one thing, they're already really strong. The only other option would be to do plywood or to do slats, like 2x4 slats, and then put the beds on there. And you kind of look through. But when I started thinking about that, you know, I got those 2 doors. I think that would make the best bed. Because doesn't it look cool, right? They're actually made out of naughty alder, like just like these are. And I get those from that surplus place I was telling you, but I get these doors. If you ordered an naughty alder door like that, you're looking at like $700. I get them for like $100. Every one of the doors I have upstairs is this door, but I put the door going with the slope of the dome. That's how I decided which way to hang the door on each location. They all go with the dome, you know. But these doors are actually insulated windows. Somebody ordered these doors, but they made the wrong curve. So basically they're a $3,500 door, but I bought them for $300 each. And I wanted to get away from trim, so I made these openings fit exactly the door size. So I don't have any actual trim on these doors, if you notice. And they're perfectly cut, so when the door is shut, you don't really hardly have any gap in here. Now, the last time you were here, the staircase was this wide. So I built this wall on top of the staircase in order to accommodate a bathroom in here. So this bathroom is what you call a wet bathroom. The whole thing can get soaking wet. See, this door has got tile on it.
Oh, wow. The whole thing.
Yeah, so this whole thing can get wet in here. It's a very big procedure to make this thing 100% waterproof. It's got 2 shower heads in it. And it's, don't you love this? It looks kind of like a storm, like a beautiful, the clouds, you know? This tile is just beautiful.
Cool door. Look at that shape. You had to, though, because of the dome, right?
Yeah, and I made a compound miter here. So literally when this door shuts, it actually seals. It seals because the angles, it's tight. So that door doesn't even leak because of that angle.
Which is important because it's a wet bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can see how you need to be able to do your own building and designing because you have to deal with like these weird shaped doors and angle. Look at the angles on the dome.
Yeah, I know it's tricky. And that's what this actually is very involved, this bathroom, because there's so many different angles to tie into these walls. It's tricky. But you know, if I didn't use the staircase, I would have the wall here and you couldn't use it. By me using this 16 inches of the staircase, I was able to get this extra height here. It's the only way to really do it.
You don't stop building or designing, right?
Oh yeah, I got a lot of other stuff going on too.
Do you? You just like to always be creating?
This is where I build a tiny house on my spare time. I always like something going on. Somebody asked me recently to build them a tiny home. Just because I built that for that friend of mine, I really liked it. So then when I was done, I'm like, I've cleared out this whole area here so I could put a tiny home up on blocks, and then the trailer comes in and backs in there and the trailer lifts up and drives away.
It's like a little barn structure.
Yeah, it's a barn style, but I like that because that's why I can put that curve in there.
Curve. Oh, so you have some curve to it.
Well, not yet.
Oh, in the inside is where you'll put the curve.
The inside's roofed. So what I do here is I do a curve all the way like this, a skeleton. It's just plywood, but essentially it looks like a perfect arch. I just cut them, I use a template. And there's only 2 pieces of the curve. There's one on the bottom, one on the top, and you use the exact mirror image on that side. So you're basically replicating about 40 pieces that are just 2 different sizes. And then you put the tongue of groove on. I wanted the height here. It's got 6'5" here. But I also wanted the height in the upstairs too. So by doing this system here, it's a lot more strength than having a 4x4. You got a lot of strength with these arches the way they are. It adds strength, but it still gives you the height in both locations, you know? It's the final on the tiny home. Just going out today. The one I did for that friend of mine. She loves it. It has a U-shaped kitchen in here. Got to put the glass in once I get there in those cabinets. Living room area, 9'5" by 8 feet here. And then you got stopped there about 5 feet. So there's enough room for a big couch in there, really. Got the loft upstairs. Now we got the bathroom there. So this is what they call a barn door bifold. Kind of interesting. I never seen one until just recently, but anyway, here's the bathroom. This is what you call a wet bathroom. The whole thing can get wet. You got the drain there for the floor. In essence, you walk through the shower to use the toilet. But I asked the girl, I said, do you like it? She goes, I love it, Dave. She goes, because I like the fact that the toilet's hidden in the back. That door, little stair system to go upstairs. Here we go. And we got a little simple railing system. And we have a round ceiling, which you know how much I love that. It's a little extra work to do a round ceiling, but it's worth it. It really changes everything. You know, the thing is, people say, oh, you're so creative. But the reality is everybody is creative if they knew how to build stuff. Then you can kind of go, oh, I can build anything. And once you can build anything, then you can be like, you can be creative.
Yeah, but you have those skills. So for you, it's pretty easy to.
Yeah. I mean, I've been building since 1990.
You started with like a parent or?
No, I actually went, my wife and I, when we first got married, we moved to a place in Canada on a lake there. Her parents were building a little cabin. And so I'm like, I want to build mine. So I built a little cabin for my wife and I, and that's where it all started, my building in 1990. And then I actually ended up building cabins because I really love building. I ended up building cabins for a lot of people on the lake. Over the period of 7 years, I became really good at it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm planning on doing, this is my existing tunnel right here. So when I walk through that round circle, I'm gonna have a long tunnel that goes all the way to this opening on this side. It'll be big round door here. I'll have the other tunnel on that side and the other one on that side. They'll have the little round windows on it. And then this is going into the existing structure. And then there'll be 5 tunnels that access a bedroom. You got an extra bedroom, it could be an office. Then you got the bathroom.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's a kitchen.
Okay.
Here's a bunk room. Here's a master bedroom.
So did you, when you bought the property, were you thinking I want to make a hobbit village?
No, but I always wanted to build a hobbit village. It's been a dream forever, but I couldn't find the property. Ever since I seen the movie, I thought, man, I'd love to build that because I like building stuff like that. And plus, remember, I built the undergrounds. So I'm like, if I build a hobbit village like that, I already know how to do it. I know how to make it waterproof, super strong, ventilated, all the stuff you need. We've got some rain coming. You've got the sprinkler on there.
Oh, is that the sprinkler? Oh, is that rain?
Yeah, come on. Okay, now come.
Okay, let's go. Woo!
Yeah. On that hill over there, the 4 that I'm having, I'm actually not putting the entrance on the end. I'm putting the entrance here in the center. You have bathroom, bedroom on this side, and on this side is kitchen and living room. That's the exit eventually.
So you already have the hole cut out.
Yeah, I planned it this way because when I go to dig up to this building and pull away I don't want to have to try to cut through that much shotcrete. So what I did was I made a cold joint here essentially. So this is a metal band of 1/8-inch steel goes around. So that's going to be exact same replica as that. I built those 2 things. I had the same company bend me these half circles out of a 24-foot piece of pipe. And then I also have this vent here, which is my convection air system, which is natural, pulls air in from the front of the structure and goes out there, circulating air continuously in here. They'll have guillotine vents on them that they'll shut down if you don't want to have as much air. In my undergrounds, if you remember, I had those bags of plastic. They were always moving. You would think there's a mechanical fan sucking air in, but it's not. It's because the structure is warmer inside. It's sucking in the cool air from outside and it's evacuating it through the higher side.
These structures are kind of hurricane-proof, fire-proof.
Well, realistically, for one thing, you have a very good concrete structure that is strong as you can get. And then it's covered with 5 feet of earth, you know. So there's nothing that really can get that. I mean, if you had a ridiculous earthquake, maybe, you know, something might crack it a bit, but wouldn't you like to be in here if you had a tornado instead of in a house? You can't pull that out of the ground. I mean, obviously, you got to be aware of the water level. If you got flooding going on, you make sure that you put this on the highest part of your land. You got to make sure you know how to do the drainage, really know how to get rid of that water. On mine, I have 2 layers of different types of waterproofing. And then I also have an umbrella of a pond liner over the whole structure, 2 feet below the earth. I got 3 layers of different water protection. Long story short, in my case, it cost about $40,000, between 40 and 45, and that did everything. And that even did my sculpting of my land up there and all the sod that I put on the grass. So everything's there. This little setup, I'm just making for a simulation. Each arch will come in 4 pieces. There's 2 straight ones at the bottom. This is where they go in, and then these are the 2 center ones that'll create the arch. So just screwing these in here. I just drilled some holes real quick. I'm just using some self-tapping screws. That just drills right in there. So we got the first one, people. Me and Michael are very excited about this because you're gonna see how easy it is, okay? So you go ahead. Okay, slide her in there. Look at that. That's what we're shooting for right there. Now this is how simple it is. So I'm saying when you're putting up another type of structure called a Quonset hut, it's way more involved. Like you need a crane, you know, this way is very simple. I'm in. Slide her down, buddy. Get foot out of the way.
For these sort of prefab for hobbit houses, are you going to try to patent something?
I've had a lot of ideas in my life and I've tried to patent and did some patents. This time last year, there was a hill there. And I'm like, you know what? People just do what they want to do. I'm not after that. I have a really good idea that people can learn from me how to do this easily.